Hello everyone, my name is Anmol and today we are going to learn how to make a Minecraft structure in the app Blender. So here we will start just from a simple cube and we will build the entire scene. First of all, we will do it by copying some of the cubes and placing them one above the other and starting building with the tower. So here first of all we select the move tool on the left side, and then on the upper side we can see the snap tool. We will select both of them, then clicking on the cube, we press Shift plus D, as a result of which the cube gets duplicated. So we will continue the same until we get a tower of 10 cubes almost. So let me do it for you. You also have to see that they get aligned in a perfect way. Otherwise, sometimes they get unaligned and the tower is not straight. Let's count the number of cubes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll place one more cube. And here is our 10th cube. So let's see if it is a straight tower. Yeah, we have got a perfect straight tower. To look it more realistic, we will increase the size of some of our cubes. Click on the topmost cube and go on the right menu. Here we can see the scale. We will change the x-axis scale by 2 and the y-axis scale also by 2. Similar thing we are going to do for the block beneath it. We will change it to 1.5 in x and y both. Similarly, we'll do it for the last two cubes also. Here we go. Our tower is looking a little bit realistic right now. Let's add a ground, an empty ground to it, or we can say a plane. For that, we'll select the scale tool. It will resize it. Here we are within the big ground beneath our tower. The colors are looking a little bit dull. So on the top right, we can see various options. By default, the selected one is solid. We also have the rendered mode and the material preview. When you select the rendered mode, here we go. We can see the lighting. This dot here is our light, and by moving it around, we can easily see the shadow of our tower like this. Here we see the edges here. These are not as much clear. For that, we'll go here and click on the ambient occlusion. By changing the distance by 2 and the font and the factor also by 2, we can see the difference here. On zooming in the corner, here we go. When we remove the ambient occlusion, we can see there are no shadows here. But when we put on the ambient occlusion, you can clearly see the shadows. Here we go. Now it is looking a little bit more realistic. We zoom out for further clearance. The colors are still dull, so we will go here and turn off the scene world. By default, the world selected is this one. We will select the last one, which is the studio light, and we will increase the world opacity to 100. Here we are. It's looking great now. We'll place our camera in such a direction that the shadow, we can easily see that shadow. For changing the our light source into the sun, we will click here on the bulb scene and select on sun. The strength is too high, that's why we can't see the shadow too clearly. We will change the strength to 2 and also the angle by 2. Here we go. We can see the shadow better than that. To increase it further, we will change the direction of our sun. Here it is. Now it is looking great. Here we go. Now our sun is looking great. Okay, now we are gonna remove the background because we want to copy the towers and create our entire scene. To prevent any problem by the sun, we will select it and move it a little aside, and similarly our camera. Here we go. We don't want it to create any problem while we copy our towers. Also, the color of the tower is looking a little bit dull. For that, we will change the texture of our tower. We will go on the bottommost option here, and we will to the base color, select on the yellow dot, then click on image texture, click on open. I have some pre-downloaded textures. Click on the white, and here we go. The texture has been changed as we can see clearly. Now we are going to copy each of these pillars and we will place them side to side so that we can create our entire scene. Press Shift plus D for duplicating the objects. I'm going to place 6 towers next to each other. Here we are. Our towers are aligned in a straight line. Now we will copy the same in 3 more directions so that we form a square from these pillars standing next to each other. For doing so, we will select 2 of the cubes, the top one and the bottom one. We are going to duplicate them. Here it is. Now we are going to select this entire tower and duplicate it side by side to create one side of our towers which we are going to make. Shift plus D button is easy for duplication. I'll place 5 towers next to each other, fourth and the fifth one. Here we go. I'm going to delete these 2 boxes, the top one and the bottom one. Here we are. After regular interval, we should check if the towers are in a straight line. Now we are going to copy these 2 and make our entire square. So let's continue. So now we are going to select these 4 towers and place them next to the front ones. Press Shift plus D, duplicate it. Here we go. Now this has not been arranged perfectly, so it's always good to see regularly from all the directions if the tower is looking straight, and yeah, it is looking straight. Now we are going to copy these 4 towers for the completion of our square. Here we go. It's not straight. We have to move it a little bit down. And here we are. Our entire structure has been created and it's looking great. Now to make it a little bit more realistic, we will add the ground to it. For that, we will copy some of the cubicle boxes and place them one after another. Let's change the texture of these boxes to make them more realistic. For that, we have the same procedure. Click on the box. I'll select the green color, and for the rest two boxes, I'm gonna select the brown color. Here we go. Now we are gonna copy these boxes and we'll place them next to each other so as to make our entire ground. Select these, press Shift plus D and place them next to each other until one layer of our ground has been made. So here we are. The end box is not straight, so we'll move it a little left. So one row of a ground has been made. Now we will copy this and place them next to each other to make the entire ground. Please make sure that all the boxes have been selected perfectly and have been arranged next to each other in a perfect order. We will copy these rows and place them next to each other. Here we go. Our entire scene has been created and it looks great. Here it is. Now to add some 3D effects to it, we are gonna select the tower, go on the select button, select linked and then material. Now we are gonna go on the object, click rigid body and then add activeness. The same thing we are gonna do for the green boxes. Go to select, select linked, material, object, rigid body, and we are going to add passiveness. The same passiveness we are going to add to the brown boxes too. Linked, material, objects, and add passiveness. Here we go, our work has been done, and now the 3D effect has also been added. Let's play a video. Thank you very much for watching.